Alright, hey guys, what's going on? We are over here listening to the hero story again, I guess. Yeah, we are back. We'll see if maybe the music doesn't, or the sound doesn't cut out again this time, because I just did some digging to figure out what's going on, did a little firmware update for my mic to see if that will help. Hopefully it will. Yeah. So we found Poseidon, which means our next task is to go back to the base. Oops, where is the... Does the base have a... Can I just travel to the base? Okay, you can just travel to the base. I don't know why I never thought to do that before. Instead of... Oh, maybe I did do that before and I ended up here. Anyway. If there's a fire here, why travel there? Put us in the base or next to the base.
Please.
If you walk by, you'll miss out on a good trade.
See what she
Choosing
says.
the right rations can be just as important to your chance of survival as choosing the right weapons. If you want food that'll save your life out in the wilds, go northwest to Saltbite. The cook there, Pintala, she'll whip up a meal for anyone who needs it, to Nox or not.
I'll make sure to pay her a visit if I'm out that way.
Alright. Man, they got errands out to Wazoo. And they must have known people would be coming this way more often than not. In order to get into the base, because she always has...
Turning into an icicle out here.
I just thought I saw that bird go by. I wonder if there's any more. I don't know if it was a duck or a goose or what, but... Alright, we're gonna get some good story going on here. Did I hit record? Yes, I did. Okay. Lots of supplies. Guess we'll see what's new in here. My mom had more plants in her base when she was showing me around than I did. We'll see if I've got any more now. She's kind of floating there.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
Okay. Is that open before? Oh, yeah, that's... I guess it's supposed to be like a community center, which I think makes it funny that it's like two people holding hands, like it's a bedroom or something. And they use it like that. Alright. Well, I don't know, running around, there's clearly nothing new here. Oh, we got that spaceship thing. Forgot about that.
That can't be real. Can it?
That can't be real, can it? Okay, I think that stuff's new. Seeds and stuff. I feel like there's definitely more plants in here than there was. I wonder if that's a time thing or a progression thing. Is this our room? I think this is our room. Got a stash and stuff. I don't think there's anything new here. And life is the same. This is where she keeps all her coils of rope that she uses to rappel down things. Bunch of extra spears, bunch of arrows, and bows. Very nice. I like how they're like sitting outside her room or in her
Where did
room.
that file go?
Huh. Oh, it's like trying to teach my parents how to use the computer. Wait, where did that file go? Alright, let's check in on Beta. I don't know if she's got any new info. Nope. Nothing with her. I imagine we'll end up talking with her soon due to an increase in Gaia. I think Poseidon was supposed to be a big chunk of Gaia's processing, so this will be good. New dialogue options with her.
I see you have recovered Poseidon.
Can we talk with her without hitting the console thing? She has new dialogue options? No. Clearly, one-track mind in this game. Da-da-da-da! Whoosh. No, he didn't say mother. Thought he might say mother again. Why does that console have to go away in order to...
Aloy, can you come downstairs? Beta
Hey.
has something.
Covered Poseidon! Nice. 50% of people manage that. Oh, they updated the... These bars have like a shading on the side. That's new. I think they've done a couple updates to the PlayStation, and I haven't messed with it all. I think you can get like themes and stuff now, but I don't know. Haven't messed with that. Cool. And yep, just like I thought, beta.
Okay. I'll be right down.
Aloy, I have managed to unlock additional rooms within the facility.
Got it.
Okay, she's
Hey,
got
Gaia.
extra dialogue.
It's me.
Wait, why are
Hello, Aloy.
my subtitles have backgrounds?
Did you wish to continue our discussion?
Yes. Have we asked these things before? I suppose we have.
The missing subordinate functions.
Why are these things...
What can you tell me about them?
Artemis rewound.
There we go.
The Earth with a variety of animal species. Eleuthia was responsible
I hate when they've got blocky bits on them.
for gestating, nurturing, and acculturating a new generation of human beings. Apollo was tasked with preserving, organizing, and disseminating vast archives of human knowledge and cultural achievements. Unfortunately, all archived Apollo data was purged on the 2nd of February, 2066, by order of Ted Faro.
Pharaoh, huh? I really hate that guy.
Understandable. He appears to have been pathologically narcissistic, impulsive, and unstable.
All 3 of the missing functions have already served their purpose, or were prevented from doing so. Do you still need them?
Restoring their remaining elements would increase my heuristic processing density, empowering my overall function. Unfortunately, as we now know they are in the possession of Far Zenith, attaining them in the short term is very likely impossible.
I guess our best shot at recovering them is by taking over the Zenith base. But we'll need Hephaestus and a bunch of combat machines to do that.
Correct.
Were you able to make use of Poseidon?
Yes. Many rivers, streams, and lakes associated with the regional watershed have been detoxified.
Well, that was quick.
As a result, red algae growth levels have seen a marked decline. According to my data, however, it appears a localized occurrence of red algae continues to persist near the coast.
Maybe I'll look into it when I can.
That's weird. Oh, more Poseidon stuff?
So, Poseidon spent the last 20 years hiding out in Las Vegas. From the data I found, it seems the city had an advanced water reclamation system. Is that why Poseidon went there?
Most likely. In an effort to protect itself, Poseidon sought out
Oh, hey,
a
the
safe
subtitles
harbor
got
where
fixed.
it could access water supply functions. There, buried and encased in a protective dome, it could guard against any threats.
Like 3 Oseram showmen?
I suspect that was not the first time it felt the need to repel trespassers.
So, once Hephaestus
Really?
has been recovered and merged, you'll regain the capacity to mass-produce machines at cauldrons around the world.
Yes, and to program their behavioral routines, or even control them directly.
So you could build an army of machines. Attack the Zeniths and take them out.
It is in my nature to take any and all necessary steps to preserve life on Earth, human life above all. So yes, once I have been empowered with the capacities of Hephaestus, I could design, build, and command such an army. Given the nature of the far Zenith threat, doing so may be our only option. I must admit, however, that I have misgivings about using such technology to kill, no matter how aggressive the enemy.
That's good. It means you have a conscience. As Elizabeth intended.
Indeed.
Okay, so that one was a repeat. I don't know if the missing functions was a repeat or not. Poseidon wasn't. I'm wondering, Ted argued for putting caps on Gaia's abilities, which Sobek didn't want, but which Gaia said should happen. So will she even be able to do this stuff? Will she even be able to... Okay, so we looked at some of these, but I guess we got new answers to some of these? I don't know.
Beta believes the Zeniths want to use the terraforming system to wipe out life on Earth. Start over, so they can build it how they want.
Further supporting our hypothesis.
But why? Given their technology, they could wipe out the tribes of the world by easier means. And if they're the same people who left Earth 1,000 years ago, wouldn't they want the biosphere to be as it was?
It is likely they adjusted to different planetary conditions in their colony on Sirius. They may be trying to recreate that environment here.
Turning Earth into a new Sirius. Their own personal playground.
I wonder if there's, like, plants and, just other morphologies of the biosphere that is on this planet in Sirius that would account for their immortality and strength and all that stuff. Like, oh yeah, the food there is great, It's like, no, seriously, it's real great.
So the Zeniths are the same people who left Earth. Physically immortal. How'd they figure it out?
From what we know of Far Zenith, it is plausible that prominent geneticists and engineers were offered a place aboard the Odyssey in exchange for their expertise. Given enough time, technology, and resources, any challenge can be overcome.
Like how Minerva eventually generated the deactivation codes for the Pharaoh Plague.
Exactly.
The Zeniths. Gerard, Eric, Tilda, Verbena. Beta said they were some of the most powerful people on Earth. Do you know anything about them?
Unfortunately, no. My personal database is limited to those who worked on Zero Dawn.
Not personnel.
Additionally, it appears Far Zenith was quite secretive about their members. Only one, Oswald Dahlgard, was ever publicly known.
Right. He was the spokesperson back at their old launch facility.
What we can conclude from your and Beta's experiences is that the Zeniths are ruthless in pursuit of their goal. To protect life on Earth, they must be stopped.
The extinction signal didn't just wake Hades.
Who's with
It made
these
every
subtitles?
subordinate function self-aware. Why?
I have wondered this myself. So far as I can tell, Hades was the sole target, and the partial sentience imparted to other subordinate functions was incidental.
A signal that precise would require thorough knowledge of the system. How could the Zeniths know that?
From the records on your focus, it appears Far Zenith had an informant during the development of Zero Dawn.
But just for
Hank
Hades.
Shaw. He was supposed to steal a copy of the system for Far Zenith, but Elizabeth and Travis Tate caught him first.
Yes. It is likely Far Zenith acquired knowledge on the system's design through him, despite his failure.
He worked on the in the Hades lab, so that's probably the one they knew enough about in order to specifically target.
So from what Beta told me, I guess we can assume the Zenith's technology is powerful in all sorts of ways, right?
Yes. As your encounters with them amply demonstrate, they appear to make extensive use of robotic servitors. Further, they seem to be equipped with some kind of protective energy field that shields them from harm.
They seemed indestructible, but that weapon the rebels used stripped their shield somehow.
Throughout history, every defensive technology has eventually been defeated by an offensive counterpart. While we lack the anti-shielding weapon, were I to absorb Hephaestus and utilize it to create a large force of combat machines, no shielding could withstand such an assault indefinitely.
So there's hope.
Always.
What worries me is that we try to absorb Hephaestus, and either we can't, and Hephaestus infects, and then gains control of all the sub-functions, or we do subdue him, but maybe not completely, and some of that what do they call it? Some of that I don't know what they call it, personality, basically some gaining personality traits things. Maybe that personality trait infects into Gaia. And maybe eventually all of them infect into Gaia. You know? Very, very worrisome.
So, I guess Beta's here to stay. I gave her a focus. Told her to talk to you to see if she can help. She's not what I expected.
What were you expecting?
I don't know. Someone more helpful, I guess. And less pessimistic.
It is true she overestimated our progress. However, it is also worth noting that her confidence in your abilities emboldened her to escape the Zeniths.
I guess so.
Give her time. She may yet come around.
I was expecting someone who could be my mother or my equal.
So there's a few people here now, and they're learning. All about you, the ancient world. Almost like what was supposed to happen before Apollo was purged.
Yes. While the loss of the Apollo database was catastrophic, there is still much that can be gleaned from the data you have uncovered. For instance, Varl has been reviewing the last recorded entries from those who perished during the Pharaoh Plague. Hearing their hopes and fears made him quite somber.
Anything I should be worried about?
I do not believe so. I have elected not to intervene, to allow him to process this on his own terms.
Okay. Interesting. About the old world.
When I dove down into Vegas, I found data about the man who built the dome over the city, Stanley Chen. It turns out he was a member of Far Zenith. But if he loved Vegas so much, why did he abandon it? Why not try to save it?
The Zeniths, at their core, have proven to be exceptional survivalists. Faced with overwhelming odds of extinction, they chose to flee.
Even still, what he achieved. Water to the wasteland, an entire city brought back to life. 1,000 years later, the whole place was still on standby, just waiting for someone to come along and wake it up.
I guess we've got more.
When we were at the facility where we found Beta, there were records that said Far Zenith were researching embryogenesis. I know they traded their ectogenic chambers to Zero Dawn, but why were they researching it in the first place?
At this point, we can only speculate. Perhaps at one time they meant the Odyssey to be a colony ship, necessitating such technology. As their goals evolved over time, so did their areas of research.
So they got more selfish as the risks of staying on Earth kept rising.
Makes you wonder if they just they're not immortal. They just make new bodies and they manage to like upload their consciousness. Think spoilers for Doom for a second, but the I say Doom, I meant Dune, D-U-N-E. The the one race I can't remember, so it's not really a spoiler, but
I should be going.
Goodbye, Aloy.
yeah, man, I don't know what they're gonna do with this game and how it's gonna evolve. It wouldn't surprise me if Gaia, like, did I not have I guess I have a drone to return? Okay.
Okay, data module's in.
Alright, we got another one. Let's see what this one is. Loading, 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 loading. Load on. Really expected something like this to be
Good choice.
quicker. Very nice. Downed plane over there and there. We're in a lake or something. Some Tanakh huts and stuff. I wish they'd stay. I wish you could keep a thing going on. Woo woo!
All right, let's look at this mess of data then.
Oh, he's got strike now. That looks like quite the board.
Aloy, you're back. Is something on your mind?
Maybe. It's about the Tanakh rebels and the Oseram.
It is?
Really? Well, that doesn't sound good. Let me know how I can help.
Okay, he didn't have a... Oh, let's play strike.
I see you've got strike set up. Mind if I have a go at it?
Really? Sure. Let's do it.
Okay. Okay, so there's random board is difficulties beginner. Sure, okay, let's play some strike, I guess. Is he just mimicking my set? No, he's not. Okay, but I'm not the only one with the Claw Strider now. I haven't played in a while, so this ought to be interesting. So this already... Oh, okay, he's got a 9. Oy. Attacking hits your target and any machines perpendicular to it. Okay. Claw Strider. Alright, let's play.
Good luck to the both of us.
It says beginner, so we'll see how this goes. It really doesn't even matter where you set these things up, is the conclusion I've come to.
Let's see what you got.
Oh, apparently he had many of these things, and I didn't realize he had multiples. Okay, 1 point. 2 points. 2 points. This is a whole new set. This is not what it said he had. What the heck? This is 100% not what it said he had. Okay. Interesting. +2 when he's on... What is that? Is that water? Okay, so he can... He can move 2. I see, this doesn't make sense either. So, preview this guy. It says he can move... Oh, wait, no, okay. I'm stupid. He can move 2, moves 3. He can attack 3. But it shows his attack is only 2. Isn't the 3 on this card the range? So why does it only show 2? I don't get it. +0. Okay, I guess we'll go this way. In power, at the start of each turn, all friendly machines within attack range gain +1 attack. Effects can stack. All pieces within attack range lose 1.
Thinking hard about this one, huh?
There we go, we'll do that.
My turn.
Yeah, let's do this, I guess.
You're up.
Won't be able to get to him in time. That's okay. Maybe we can sprint. We won't be able to attack him. But we'll have... We'll be able to attack... Whatever. We'll just do it. Oh, I can overcharge him. Okay, let's do that. No! Okay, that's definitely not what I should have done. So I didn't realize what that would do. Oh boy. And it only did 1 damage for some reason instead of 2. Oh, because that's the... I thought it did a natural 2 damage, but it only does up to 2, I suppose.
Let's see.
Ugh. What the heck? Why does he get 4 in a... And he
Looks like I'm in the lead.
wins. Oh my gosh. I hate this game so much. It's a really cool idea. But the implementation of it just is terrible.
That machine's armor just saved my butt. Overcharging.
Isn't that supposed to do 2 damage? Why is he still alive? Super hate this game.
And it's out.
Okay, now we lose.
Okay, I can do this.
Okay, we should have lost.
Knew I had to
Oh,
win
there
at
we
some
go.
point. Let me know if you want to go at it again.
Nope. Fuck you. Fuck this game.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I discovered an Oseram militant group. They call themselves the Sons of Prometheus. It looks like they're the ones overriding machines for the Tenakth rebels.
I thought that was something only you could do.
They're familiar with ancient tech, and they're as anti-Karja as it gets.
So, last year we stopped Dervahl and his cronies from blowing up Meridian in retribution for the Red Raids. And now you're telling me we have another group of Oseram trying to wipe out the Karja with an army of machines and bloodthirsty Tenakth?
Pretty much.
Oh, well, that's just great!
Is there any way you can help me find out who they are? Anything to track them down and stop them?
Yeah, I can send out some messages from Chainscrape. Get in touch with my contacts in the claim, see what I can find out.
I'd appreciate that.
Okay. Now let's GTF
Oh,
up.
and I'll let you know if I find out anything more about the Sons of Prometheus.
Same here.
Oh, what's his face is gone. So let's see if she's got anything new to say, even though it doesn't say she does.
I was wondering when you'd be back.
Nope.
I have to go now.
Farewell.
I think there's a thing we have. Did she have the paint on her chin before? I don't remember that. Okay. Heh.
Hi! Happy birthday, Isaac. Daddy sure does love his little big man.
She found that recording from the data on your focus. She's been watching it a lot. I think it helps calm her.
You know, I used to watch this a lot too. Whenever I wanted to take my mind off things.
Daddy sure does love his little big...
But there's something you need to tell me?
While you were gone, I came down here to check on her. Then we started talking. Right, Beta? She's been thinking about how to capture Hephaestus, studying the data Gaia gave her. But we started talking about some other stuff. You know, just getting to know each other, right? And then she told me that one of the Zeniths might be different from the others.
Tilda. You saw her at the Hades Proving Lab.
Go on.
On the way to Earth, the Zeniths never showed their faces. My servitor caretaker referred to them as my benefactors, and promised I'd meet them someday, when I had learned enough.
And then?
One day, a data channel opened in my training interface. In it, Tilda was waiting for me, in a virtual replica of a house on a cliff, overlooking the ocean. It was beautiful. She showed me paintings, books, media files. We met there in secret many times. But a few months later, it stopped.
Can you tell us why, Beta?
I found some data about Tilda at the Hades Proving Lab. I think she was the liaison between Far Zenith and Zero Dawn. She knew Elizabeth Sobek, that's for sure.
Maybe that's why she reached out to you?
Okay.
What else can you tell us about Tilda?
She liked to talk about her paintings.
What about herself? Did she ever talk about her life on Earth, how she joined the Zeniths, something like that?
She never said much about herself, and she hated it when I asked too many questions. But I think, back on Earth, She was an expert programmer, given that she built a data channel the other Zeniths couldn't detect.
Is there anything else about her that we might be able to use to our advantage?
She was the first real person who ever bothered to speak to me. I wasn't really assessing her for strengths and weaknesses.
Oh, Aloy. How does it feel to be the silence in this relationship and dealing with yourself? Ha ha.
You said
Karma.
that Tilda reached out to you using a data channel? It appeared in my training interface as another assignment. When I opened it, there were a series of intermittent glitches. I realized they formed a transpositional cipher. Instructions on how to open up a new virtual space. When I entered it, my training interface disappeared. Instead of the usual holographic teachers and files, I was in a perfect recreation of her home.
And you're sure the other Zeniths never knew about it?
To them, it looked like I was still in training. Toiling away. Alone.
So this secret virtual space looked like a house with an ocean view?
I could see whitecaps and hear waves crashing on rocks below. And there were gulls crying outside. Inside, Tilda had frames that showed off her favorite paintings, changing at intervals to match the light. There was an armchair she liked. She'd sit there and gaze outside while I looked through her things. We spent hours in that house. I never wanted to leave.
Wonder if, like, her and Elizabeth... Do I remember correctly from that recording we found? She and Elizabeth, like... I don't think they were, like, married or anything. Were they dated or something, maybe? Do I remember that correctly? Or was I just thinking that that was a possibility, but it didn't actually happen? I don't know. Can't remember.
You said Tilda showed you paintings and let you access media files?
Every time we met, she showed me a new painting. I think she was Dutch. All of her favorite pieces were from their golden age in the 1600s. Portraits, allegories, ships at sea. She had so many.
They didn't interest you?
I liked her media portal. It had so much more than my training interface. Clips, shows, holos. My favorite was this one called Second Time Around, about a family whose kid comes back after disappearing during the Hot Zone crisis.
Right, but did this portal have anything about the Zeniths themselves? Anything we could use?
No. Any information about them was redacted.
Yep, she's being silenced, and she ought to be a little more personable with this version of herself.
So Tilda set up a secret virtual space where she could talk to you, a house on a cliff. Then later, she cut you off. But other than the fact that Tilda knew Elizabeth, you don't know why she did those things?
I don't! Okay? I thought of every possible reason that would make her leave, but whatever I did wrong, I don't know what it is. When I finally met the others, she ignored me. Acted like the data channel never existed. None of this even matters. Tilda's the same as the others. It won't help us defeat them.
Okay. Let's leave it at that then.
No, thank you.
What's wrong?
I'm trying, Varl. But she is tough to take. I'm out there in the wilds, risking my life every day, and all she can do is hide in there and tell us how hopeless it all is. I'm sorry, she's had a rough time, but she is really not helping right now.
You always seem to be on top of everything, so I sometimes forget about what you've been through. I mean, it wasn't that long ago you were so banged up you couldn't even walk. About that. When I pulled you out of the water back near the proving lab, you were muttering Rost's name. You never talk about him, but he raised you, trained you. You must miss him a lot.
Of course I do. But I don't have time to think about that now. I need to get back out there.
Okay. I'll keep working with Beta. Gaia says she knows a lot about Zero Dawn. And maybe she just needs some time to adjust, and then she can help us with Hephaestus.
Sure. But I won't hold my breath.
Okay. That went about like I expected it to. Still can't open that. Anything else down here we can open? I don't think if there are any hidden rooms here. There's something at the top here. There's like a really out of the way hidden door thing. I don't really remember where it's at. Okay, now everybody's got... Now everybody's got new things to say. That is the exit.
I don't think that door had power before, but looks like it's malfunctioning.
This is what I wanted. Resistive trigger was working.
Looks
There,
like
it
some
seems
kind
like.
of maintenance space.
More watches. I cannot think for the life of me why there would be sticks in any of this stuff. Okay. Scuttlebutt.
I wonder where this leads.
Indeed. I was getting ready to be like, oh, we can go left or right. But no, we can't.
Power cells? Huh.
Something's going on, I suppose. Let's go down here and see where we need to go and what we need to do. There's a thing. Guess we haven't been in here before? Alright, so we got at least one power cell. Boop.
That did it.
Aloy? A bunch of lights just turned on up here? Was that you?
Oh. Huh. Yeah, I guess it was.
Alright. Aha! Yes. Let's drop that for now. That just goes back up. Let's go in here and see if there's another door we can't get through.
Door won't open. Guess Gaia hasn't been able to restore access yet.
Alright, in what should surprise absolutely no one, the audio died once again. Whatever I did before, it certainly didn't help. We shall continue on exploring. We got a few minutes left. Okay, we came in from there. Don't really remember where we're trying to go. Or why. I think there's a secret room that's this way. Yep. Okay, there's a code we still can't enter yet. That we have not found. And back we go. I forget that there's a code on that door, and that's why we haven't gone through there. Oh.
Rain once again.
Okay, we are outside. I suppose we could jump down in there and do some asporitating if we wanted. And I guess the point is to go up and in and around or something. Just to drop down the shaft we dropped down before. So I'm not super interested in doing that. And I don't know where this went. We're gonna look in here. This went... Oh, it had a secret stash thing, but otherwise went nowhere. Okay. Well, I haven't found out what we need to do with that other power cell yet. So... Fun. Yep. Aloy. Okay, so there's the power cell. Let's run it upstairs.
Down here.
What? I can't even move now. I have to drop it. And now it's in the floor. Please tell me it popped up back in here. Wow. Oh, I hope it so popped back up in here because, oh, I'm going to be upset. Okay, whew. It returned to whence it came. Alright. This is the area we just went to and came from. Yes. Okay. We went in a giant circle, but we powered some stuff up.
But stars can also be suns? That makes no sense.
Okay, we can go outside there. Any hidden walls in here or anything? Wasn't Katalo in here? Whatever happened to him? I forgot we've got whatever this is. We can override things. Don't know that I want to... we got plenty of these. We'll override these. This machine can now be overridden in the wild. Can we not override it normally? We have to unlock the override, but then we have to pay to use it, so I'm not about that. Pretty sure we're all upgraded. Yes. Is there any secret doors in here? Home Dude said a bunch of, oh, nice. Look at the little Triceratops thing. I love it. I bet the two of them like it when it watches them. It's like positioned right there. It's the only thing I can assume.
I think I'm getting it.
Okay.
Plugging in that power cell downstairs must have turned on these holograms.
Nice. I can't interact with them, but it's cool. Okay, Katalo's over there somewhere. You can only go through this wall once you've come through it. The other way. Looks like Katalo. The way the arrow is makes it look like Katalo's in the bathroom and you gotta talk to him through the door. Eh.
There it is. Huh. That door's unlocked now.
Woohoo. Let's see what it is.
There's a lot of equipment in here. Gaia, what was all this for?
This room was designed for management of the facility's vast seed banks. From here, Here, Control Center operatives would have monitored new crop rotations into the automated farmlands, now known as Plainsong.
I see.
I think Zoe's gonna like this. Let's see what we've got.
I've been tackling the design of the Ag Lab. Place is gonna have a lot of seed stock to work with. My favorite? Sample 626. Calotropis gigantea. The crown flower. We used to have one in our backyard. Butterflies always fluttering around. Every morning, August would run out there to check under the leaves. See if any caterpillars turned into chrysalises. Now, I'd like to imagine that the future will be filled with them.
This looks like a little bit like a cryopod there. Okay. Get some new glass on those or something. Wonder what we'll be able to do with this room. Okay, let's mess with the holopad thing.
According to this console, there are still thousands of plant samples stored deep below the facility. I could ask Gaia about them the next time I talk to her.
Indeed, I will. I was really hoping for an actual hologram. So that's a little bit of a shame.
Let's see.
Alright, here we go.
Mind if we have a word?
Of course not.
Must be strange, seeing everything through a focus now.
I can see machines like never before. Their strengths and weaknesses simply reveal themselves to me. To think that such a tiny object might be the most powerful weapon I've ever possessed.
Indeed.
What do you think of this place? It must take some getting used to.
It's an efficient center of operations, and an acceptable training facility. Though it could use some more color.
Duly noted.
So color it up, dude. That'd be awesome. I'd love to see Tanoth stuff, especially SkyClan colors. Let's do that.
Does it still hurt?
It comes and goes. I try not to think about it, but its absence is always present for me. It's difficult to explain.
I can't claim to understand. Only empathize.
Then you have my thanks.
Come on, we have to. With Gaia's got to know how to build like a robot arm for this guy. Come on, it's like it's the future, basically.
Have you spoken with Erend at all?
I've had little chance to. I did see him bring some ale from out east.
That stuff's as bitter as self-brush.
You get used to it, eventually. In fact, I wouldn't mind a drink myself.
I'm sure Erend wouldn't mind sharing.
I'd love for those two to become buddies. That'd be awesome.
I should get going.
If I can help in some way, say the word.
I will. Thank you.
I like the map and the little pieces he's got. Strong points detected. I wonder if he made these pieces to like put in there into a map that already existed, or whether the map adapted itself and some of its layouts to some of the things that Katala put there.
The old ones were powerful indeed, but much about war remains the same.
Okay. Is this door open yet? Ah! I hate this! Let me in! You know what I'm just saying? I wonder if...
Close.
Okay. Sweet. That really was bothering me. It also really bothers me that this door doesn't stay. Oh, nice. There's a little bit of sky people color. See, now I can open the door if I go that way, but it doesn't stay that way. I really want to be able to, you know, run back and forth through there. Anything new here? Of course. All right.
Beta's been difficult to figure out. She's just so closed off. I get that the Zeniths were cruel to her, that the one called Tilda abandoned her, but I can't get her out of her shell. I don't know. Maybe nothing can.
Like how we've got a new Rost shrine, basically, except this one is to Elizabeth.
I know Varl meant well bringing up Rost. I guess it's hard to talk about. With everything going on, it feels easier to set those memories aside. At least for now.
I think he was trying to make a point that Beta's going through some of the same stuff, and maybe you should chillax. Okay, we're just gonna hop right over that. Alright, nothing else with exclamations, so let's go back. And let's talk to some peeps.
Slowly. Slowly. Hey, Aloy. Is everything all right? It seemed like you and Varl were down at that basement for a while.
Yeah, everything's
Yeah,
fine,
just a little bit of a longer quickie.
Well, okay.
That's all.
What can I do for you?
You still sifting through loads of data?
Yeah, it's interesting. There's lots of words. I thought maybe I could try finding things with more, pictures in it. Not much luck there, but like images put together to tell a story.
Hit a button.
They were made to look like they were the real thing. The Oseram like shows. I bet they pay a lot of shards for those hollows.
It seems like you're getting a hang of this data thing.
Yeah, it's been helpful. When I could make sense of anything. I did find the old ones enjoyed a good brew like the rest of us. Only they let machines serve the stuff in bars. They even let the damn things cut you off before you saw the underside of a table. And that's half the fun. You won't see me letting a robot serve me a pitcher anytime soon.
I love these guys.
How are things going around here?
Hey, you tell me. Varl's new girlfriend tried to kill me earlier.
What did you do?
I made one joke about how they, eat grass a lot. How does anyone fight with nothing but tree leaves in their stomach anyway?
From the looks of it, the Utaru.
Yeah, well, I wasn't expecting her to be that fast.
Just try not to get hurt.
Some tensions amongst the group.
I see someone's been playing Strike.
I'm just trying to get some practice in. Helps take my mind off things.
You should try playing Katalo. It's a Tanakh game. Maybe you'll learn something.
Oh, sure, Tanakh. Sure he won't try and kill me if I win?
Pretty sure. Do I smell ale?
I brought some over from Chain Scrape. With everything that's been going on, I thought we could all use a drink. Besides, there is nothing that brings people together like a good brew. That's what my sister always said, anyways. You're more than welcome to have some.
Maybe another time.
Aloy's very straight edge.
I should get going.
Back to reading, I guess. You be careful out there.
Okay. We'll finish up talking to these guys, and then we'll call it an ep. Oh, let's talk about Rost.
Rost. Before. I do think about him. He was all I had. And he brought me up the best he could. Not only that, when Hades discovered who I was and sent the Eclipse after me, he sacrificed himself so I could survive. But that seems like ages ago. So much has happened since. What I'm doing now, I don't think he could even begin to understand it.
Ah,
The sacred lands were all he really knew. So I can't let myself dwell on him. Not with everything I have to do.
I understand. Sometimes when I think about my sister, about what she would have become if she had survived the proving, it hurts. And I just need to bury it for a while. But only for a while, Aloy. You can't ignore it forever. Memories always come back. The ones that matter, anyway.
I know. But for now, the mission has to come first.
Fair enough.
Sage old Varl.
It's hard to believe we're dealing with the original Zeniths. The same ones that left for Sirius 1,000 years ago.
To live on for so long, it doesn't seem natural.
Because it's not.
That weapon we found where Beta was hiding, any chance we can use that against them?
Sylens made sure that wasn't an option.
Why would he build something to hurt Far's Zenith, yet allow them to capture you?
With Sylens, there's always an angle. We just don't know what it is yet.
Did we talk to him, to Sylens, about that weapon? I don't really remember that. And I don't really remember him putting us in a position to let them capture her. I don't know.
What do you make of this Tilda the Beta was talking about?
Well, the way she described it, I can't shake off the feeling that Tilda wanted something from Beta. Maybe because she's Elizabeth Sobek's clone? But whatever she wanted, I don't think she got it. If we knew what it was, maybe we could use it to our advantage somehow.
I don't know. I don't think Tilda and Elizabeth were on the best of terms.
Oh well. At least we can take some comfort in knowing the Zeniths don't trust each other.
Maybe.
Were they sisters? Were they roomies at college?
How's training?
Discovering something new about our past every day. When we first met, you asked me if I ever wondered what this world looked like when the old ones lived here. I had thought it was strange at the time, but a lot has changed since I left the Embrace. Now I'm just trying to make sense of everything I thought I knew, and versus everything I know now.
The change is hard, but it gets easier over time.
I like the headband. It's good colors.
You feeling okay?
I was just thinking about Beta and all that time spent with the Zeniths. To think someone would make a person just to lock them in a room to use when needed, like some sort of tool. Elizabeth Sobek sacrificed herself for the world, and yet they have no trouble treating Beta like a slave.
Another reason we have to stop them. I should get back
let's
out there.
go.
We'll be here if you need us.
And now let's talk to... Where are we? Let's talk to Zoe. Will we hop the... Nope. Never tell when she's going to hop something or not.
Aloy.
Hey, how's everything going?
I am well, but Varl told me Beta's having a hard time adjusting to life here with us. I wish there was something I could do to help.
I'm not sure any of us can.
A tree won't bear fruit in a day. We'll do our best to make her feel welcome.
She always have the chin spots. I don't remember.
The Zeniths did a number on Beta. But she seems to trust Varl.
I still can't believe she told him the Zeniths are immortals. Old ones who cut themselves off from the cycle of life and decay. I've never heard of anything so selfish. To deny our dying bodies to the earth. To doom the life that would bloom in their place. It's despicable.
Found anything else combing through that data?
Varl and I have been looking into the animals of the old world. Apparently there used to be thousands more species roaming around than there are today.
Ah.
Can you imagine that? I'd give anything to see them. Even as holograms.
I like that they're
Though
addressing
I know that
it.
without Artemis or Apollo, that may prove difficult. At least I can find comfort in knowing Gaia used many of them as inspiration for her machines. Her memory honors them.
What are you going to learn next?
I'm not sure. I asked Gaia for suggestions, and she brought up data you found on something called a... museum? From what I gather, the old ones would store knowledge in them for all to see and learn from, like you've done here for us. Maybe one day more people will be able to use this place to learn the way we have.
That sounds crowded, but nice.
Always a loner.
Are you guys training with Erend as well?
If you count trying to stick a spear in his gut as training, then yes.
I've been told. Please tell me you weren't being serious, though.
Of course not.
Good.
I was going for a couple of broken bones. He called the Utaru leaf grazers. Laughed at the idea of us simple farmers being formidable fighters. Before I knew it, he and I were battling it out in the common room. The man is slow, but he can throw a hammer around. Don't look so worried. We're evenly matched. For now. Next time he's going down like a load of boar dump.
Just try not to kill each other.
Injuring his pride should be good enough.
Yeah, she understands people.
Is there anything I can help with around here?
Oh, no. We're doing fine.
Are you okay?
You and Varl have been friends for a while.
Girl talk!
I was wondering, what do you know about his mother?
Oh.
Not bad, huh?
Why do you want to know?
He's spoken of his sister, Vala, but I noticed he avoids talking about his mother.
She's the war chief of the Nora. Best warrior the tribe's ever known. Tougher than a Thunderjaw, but she could be pretty harsh at times.
I see. That must have been hard on him. Thank you for telling me. I feel silly not being able to ask Varl directly.
I wouldn't worry about it. He's probably afraid Sona will scare you off someday.
I'd like to see her try.
Ha! I'd like to see that confrontation, too.
I should get going.
Good luck on your search.
That's very amusing. So we've got to go, I guess, after the next thing, which is all the way over here. It's for Demeter. But we've got still plenty of side quests along the way. Got a hunting grounds we need to do. Cauldron. Did we talk to the salvager here before? I don't remember doing that. We just like completely we must have just like just missed him or something. We've got a quest to come up here. Couple quests here. I guess there's more quests here? I didn't even realize. Okay. Well, maybe we'll come back and figure all that out next time. This question mark's like right in the middle of this mountainy black spot, so that'll be interesting. Gotta be a cauldron or something there. What do we have? Ah, Pitmaster, yes, more Pitmaster fighting or whatever. Not a fan. So yeah, so we got some quests and stuff. I think we can come back and we can do this thing over here. That'll be fun. I'll enjoy doing that. And there's a thing down here we can get. That'll be good to knock off the map. So yeah, so some things we can do. And so we'll be doing that the next little bit. Oh, a new quest here. Camp Nowhere. I like this actually called Camp Nowhere. That's wonderful. You know, more quests there and all that good stuff. So we got some stuff we can start knocking around. So that's ought to be fun. See, a lot of these turned green. This one didn't. I don't know why. I guess not all of them turn green. See, they're like areas where it's like, yes, you can complete these things, but then there's like these things where it's just a place. And they're supposed to be like old world ruins, but they're not like, I don't know. I feel like it would be better to make them look like these things, where it's just like, oh yeah, it's like a thing. So they look a little different. That way, you don't have to worry about. You're just like, why aren't these things turning green or whatever? Yeah. Okay, so that is it for now. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Appreciate you hanging out here with us on the Bratcat channel. If you like or dislike, hit the thummies, do all that stuff. And, yeah. Follow us on Twitter at BratCatMedia or me on Twitter at Hobfoot for anything and everything Bratcat. And
Yeah, this file's crazy. Why would anyone use oils for that?
you can, just, I don't know, you can watch other stuff on the channel if you want. You can hit us up, talk about this, other things, whatever. I forget how I usually do the outro. I am the worst at this. Yeah. Hopefully I can figure out WTF's going on with why the sound cuts out all the time. It's always at like 45 minutes, too. Thankfully, it doesn't do it on streams, so far as I know. But, yeah. Anywho's it's...
Sneakers that weren't used for sneaking. Got it.
I feel you on that one, buddy. That has always perplexed me as well. Anyway, that's it for me. Peace out, Girl Scouts.